Hi everybody, welcome to my series of myofascial release videos. I've had a few requests, so I thought I'd put some videos together to help you all get a little bit looser. So you just need a ball, and I'm happy for you to use a tennis ball, and you also need a foam roller. So yeah, really handy if you've got those to do these exercises with. We're going to start from our feet and work all the way up to the top of our body. So this is the first video, which I'll just mainly focus on the feet, calves, and the side, the ITB as well. And we'll go from there. So if you're not sure what fascia is it's like a spider's web throughout the whole of our body, and it helps to stabilize the muscles and the internal organs, but it also helps us a lot with movement in different directions, forward, backwards, sideways, twisting. So really important that we keep it really loosened up. Often with the fascia, the spider's web type things, it gets trigger points where it gets tight. And so that's where we use the ball and the foam roller to loosen up those spots. So first of all, what I'm going to get you to do is just a little test here. So let's come up standing, and I'm going to get you to bring your feet hip width apart, and you're going to have a soft bend in your knees. And we want to start to engage the core as well. Okay, and we're taking a big breath in. And then as we breathe out, we'll bring the chin to the chest, and we'll slowly roll down one vertebra at a time, all the way down. Now, just going to where you can that's comfortable for you. And I want you just to spend a few seconds here, just focusing on where there might be tightness, how far you are from the floor with those fingers, or if you're touching the floor, maybe your hands are already flat, or you're just touching with the fingertips, or maybe you're a little bit away from the floor. So just checking in with the body. And then take a breath in, and as you breathe out, really, really slowly rolling all the way back up again, one vertebra at a time. Now grab your ball, and we're going to loosen up the fascia in the foot. So placing that ball under that left foot. Now I want you to really work into that foot. We want to loosen up the fascia. So we want to get right into the arch of the foot, right up around the toes. So you want to spend, I'm not going to do the whole time, but you can spend as long as you have doing these different exercises. As long as you have the time, you can spend as much. It's not going to hurt you in any way. So just spend as much time as you can on these different exercises, releasing the fascia. So really get into the heel, onto the sides, really spend some time in the arch of that left foot. That's where we tend to hold a lot of tension as well. So really just loosening that whole foot up, right up into the toes. Good. Now let's put that ball to the side for a second. Let's come back to standing. So legs hip width apart, soft bend in the knees, engaging the core. Big breath in. As you breathe out, chin to chest, slowly rolling all the way back down again. And again, just check in with the body here. Do you feel like you've gotten a little bit looser? Are you getting a little bit closer towards the floor? Just really let everything melt towards the floor here. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, rolling all the way back up again, one vertebra at a time. Now let's grab that ball again onto the right foot this time, and let's roll it out. So it's really up to you with all of these exercises how much weight you apply to the foam roller or to the ball. And it really depends on your pain threshold. So it's not fun. It's can be quite torturous, but you just do what works for you. And I want you to focus a lot on the breath as we go through. That will help you through the different exercises. Okay, so really use your breath. So big, deep breaths. and completely emptying the breath out. It's like you're blowing up a balloon. So just rolling out this right foot now, getting to the sides, getting up around the toes, around the heel. Really get into the arch of that right foot. Just last few seconds here. And then let's push that ball to the side again. Let's come back. Last roll down here for now. Legs hip width apart. Soft bend in the knees. Cores engaged. Big breath in. As you breathe out, chin to chest. Slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. All the way down. Hopefully you notice a bit of a change now. You're getting a little bit closer towards the floor. Just letting the neck, shoulders, head relax here. Hopefully you've got a little closer to the floor already. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, slowly roll back up again, one vertebra at a time. Perfect. All right, let's come down and do your calves. So you're going to grab your foam roller now. And we are going to put that roller. I've only got a short roller here. Ideally, you would buy a long roller. I'm between houses at the moment, so mine's in storage. But ideally, you'd have a long roller so you can actually lie down on it at some point when we do things with the thoracic spine. So we're going to go into our calves. So foam rollers across the mat. Now, you've got a couple of options here. You can have both legs, and we're going to start just around the Achilles, just above the Achilles, back of the ankle, around the ankles. Now, you can have your bottom on the ground here, and you can just slowly roll down and up, sliding your bottom along the floor. Now, that might be enough for you. You might feel that's enough for your calves, okay? The other option here with double legs is you suspend your bottom off the ground, and you so slowly roll. Now, what I want you to think about is whenever you feel a point where there's tension, where you feel that trigger point's really tight, I want you to either hold and apply more weight to that point, or you can go little roll forward and back on it, just tiny. Okay. Another option with your calves here is you can stack one ankle on top of the other. And again, you can slide your bottom along, and we're only going to just below the knee, so make sure we don't go over the joint, okay? So again, you can just slide along, find your trigger point, apply more weight, or do a little roll backwards and forwards, or if you want that little bit extra, suspend your bottom up off the floor and just go backwards and forwards. So I want you to think about going really slow. And again, I want you to try and spend at least a minute on your calves here. We'll only do about 30 seconds in this video, but just try and spend at least a minute. Now I'm going to suspend my hips. I'm going to just roll a little bit, hold, or do a little rock backwards and forwards. Then I'll roll again a little bit, hold, or backwards and forwards. Again, just doing it all the way up to just below the knee. Once I get to just below the knee, I'll go back down again. So I'll roll back down. You'll find the belly of the muscle, the middle of the muscle is where you're going to find the most tension here, okay? And then you can swap over feet if you've got those ankles stacked, doing both sides. We'll go for another 30 seconds here. So I really want you to focus on your breath. So it's really when you're holding that trigger point, breathe through it. That will help you get through. It's not easy. You can also, on your calves, you can roll to the side. So you can roll in, you can roll out to the outer. It's just about finding your spots that are tight. Everyone's completely different. Finding your spots that are tight and working with that and what you need. And you really using your breath to get you through that. Okay. So that's your calves. You can also use the ball for your calves. If your calves are really tight, you can definitely use the trigger ball. It's just it's more targeted, so it's a lot stronger with the ball. Okay, so doing your calves there. Now let's move up into your hamstrings. So again, you've got a couple of options here. So you want to now start above the knee, okay? And it's like the calves. So you can keep the bottom down and you can roll right up to right up where it meets your bottom and back down again. Okay, so nice and slow. For me, I don't feel that so much. It's not that strong for me. So you can always, again, suspend the hips, or you can stack the legs on top of each other. And again, you can do a little side rolling. Okay. So just do what works for you. Swapping it over again. Go 1 minute each side at least. I really want you to spend as much time as you can here, really rolling out. We want to loosen up that fascia to help us with all our different movements. Just make sure we don't go over the knee joint. So that's your hamstrings. And again, you could use the ball for more targeted. So I could get right under. For me, again, I don't feel it so much. My hamstrings aren't that tight. But for you, maybe. So just work with your body and how it's feeling. Always coming back to that breath. I know I talk about it a lot, but I really want you to focus on your breath throughout all of these, because it is quite intense. It's like a really intense remedial massage. So make sure you really use your breath. Okay, let's go on to your ITB. So your ITB band is this band down the side of your leg. So it inserts up into your glutes, hip area, but also helps with the tracking of your knees. Okay, so a lot of runners will have a really tight ITB band. So another couple of options here. So coming onto your side, and I want you to start right up the top of the thigh. Okay, coming down to relax. Try not to cause any tension in the neck and the shoulders here. Now, a couple of options. Harder option is you have your legs stacked and suspended. Easier option, if you want a little less intense, you have the top leg come forward, so you're just on that single leg. Okay. Now, what I want you to think about with the ITB is we start at the top of the hip, you roll down a couple of inches, okay? Then I want you to hold it. Just want you to hold it, or do a tiny little rock backwards and forwards. Okay, come down again, a couple of inches. Again, just go with what works for you and where your threshold is. We hold again, 2 inches down, or little rock backwards and forwards. Breathe in. As you breathe out, roll again. You'll find that as you get to the belly of the muscle, the middle of that muscle, it starts to get a little bit more intense. Couple more inches. Hold or rock backwards and forwards. Then go again, a couple of inches. I'm getting close to the wall here. Hold or backwards and forwards. Now again, we only want to go down to just above the knee. So we never want to go over the knee. Once you get to just above the knee, okay, so we've gotten to just above the knee by going down 2 inches at a time, we start to come back up again. This is where it gets really fun. So you roll back up a couple of inches, hold, or little tiny rock backwards and forwards. Breathe in. As you breathe out, roll up a couple of inches again. Try to relax through the neck and shoulders here. Hold, or little rock backwards and forwards. And again, we're working our way all the way back up, right up to the top of the thigh there at the side, okay, up top of the ITB band. So spend some time doing that. I wouldn't recommend you do the tennis ball for the ITB. I mean, you can, but it's very, very painful. And again, you can either stack those legs and suspend them so it's a little bit harder, or have one foot forward so it's a little bit less body weight. So it's all about how much body weight you want to put into that foam roller. You want to, how intense you want to go. Just start really easy, and then as you build up a little bit more resistance to that pain, I guess, then you can let your body weight go a little bit stronger into it. So we've done your feet today, we've done your calves, we've done the back of your legs, your hamstrings, and we've also done that ITB. Let's also do one more, and we'll do your quads. So what you're going to do is foam roller in the center. You're going to put let's put your right leg we want to have the foam roller right up at the top of the hip flexor here. Okay. Top of the hip flexor on the right leg, and your left leg will be out to the side at 90. Again, nice and relaxed through the neck and shoulders. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just roll down a couple of inches. Hold. You're going to do 3 bend and extend with the leg. So breathe out. Breathe in, go back down. Breathe out. Go back down. Slow and controlled. Roll down a couple of inches again. Breathe out. Breathe out as you bend. We go 3 times. Breathe in as you drop the leg down. Once you've done 3, you roll again. Couple of inches. Just take it really slow. 3 times. So again, once you get to just above that knee, but I want you to take it really slow. I'm not doing it all today. We start to roll back up again. Couple of inches. Bend, extend. Back again, back up, couple of inches. Bend and extend 3 times. Okay, you get the gist. When you come all the way back up to the hip flexor, I want you just to spend 30 seconds or so rolling onto that hip flexor. So really, really rolling into the hip flexor there. It's nice and easy. Good, and then slowly come out. Okay, so really important to use your breath on all of these ones. So I am going to continue with your lower body. Let's just get all the lower body done. Okay, so once you've done your ITB on both sides, the side lying one that we were doing, you've done your quads, which we've just done, do that on both sides, okay? Then we'll go to your glutes. So you'll sit on the roller. So seated on the roller. Now let's bring your right leg, because we've just done the right quad, but I want you to, you'll do both sides. Bring your right leg up onto the left knee. Now, your hands are at the back, so you're stable. Now roll onto the right glute. So the leg that's on top, you're rolling into that glute. So this one, you might have to play around with this. So for me, this isn't very intense, but for you it might be. So you can come right down onto the side or back up the top a little bit. You'll just have to play around with this one, okay? For me, I find the ball better for my glutes. So same thing, I'll bring my right leg on top of the left. I'll place that ball under my glutes and I'll roll around on my glutes. And for me, that's a lot stronger, and I prefer to use the ball because I know it gets into the fascia a bit more for me. But just find what your threshold is, what you can deal with in terms of the pain, because it is quite painful, okay? And what I want you to do is roll around. When you find a tight spot, hold it. A few breaths. You basically want the pain to go from a 10 to roughly like a 6. So use your breath until you feel it release, and then you roll to another area. Breathe, let it release. So just play around with that, what works for the glutes. For me, my glutes aren't overly tight, but for some people they are, okay? And then the last one for our lower body in this video is you'll come onto your back. So it's called the TFL muscle, and it's a very small muscle. Again, helps with the hips, knee tracking, really important muscle, tiny though. So come lying on your back, grab your ball. Now you're going to feel your hip bone. Then you'll come around to the side of your hip bone and just down slightly. So you've got a muscle here, and you'll know when you find it. Okay, so hip bone to the side and down a little bit. Ball goes under there, and then you can roll to that side. Now for me, that's really painful. And I'll just show you, I'll come a little bit closer so you can see. I've got the ball up in here. It's not on bone, it's soft, okay? And that's where I'm rolling into. Now when you find that area, you can roll onto the side. When you find that tight spot, I want you to hold Again, breathe into it, deep breaths. And then you can move again. It's really painful for me, this one. So again, really important to use your breath. I want you to spend at least 30 seconds at least. Really, a minute is getting ideal. Okay, spend some time rolling on that TFL muscle. All right. So there you have all the lower body foam roller exercises that I'm going to go through. Look out for my next video, which will cover a bit more shoulders, upper body, lats, and yeah, your thoracic spine as well. If you've got any questions, just send me a message, Delzo Active. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and I also run lots of virtual classes. So check out our website as well. But yeah, let me know any feedback or comments below. Thanks for spending time with me doing this foam rolling and looking after your health and well-being. This is really important, doing this fascia release. So good on you for being here. Thanks so much and see you soon. Bye.